Well, this week we're going to be talking about forming a group. You have had this experience now because hopefully you have formed your own groups by getting ready for the project that's due at the end of this week. I know that that can be a difficult assignment just because we're an online course. Um, it can be time consuming, especially if you use people in your cohort to help be your group members. But again, the purpose, and hopefully you gain this from this experience, the purpose of the assignment is to give you an opportunity to see what it's like to lead a group, and to see what comes from that, how it flows, to really just gain that experience. It's not to make your life difficult, although it may seem difficult. Um, and so I hope you guys really gained some insight and just some appreciation for leading a group. Um, Again, some of you may already have those experiences based on things you've done in your life prior to this, but I think it's a great experience to have. It's a great way to evaluate what your thoughts are about group and how to put what you're learning into practice. So please know it's not just to be painful or to be difficult that we have you do that assignment. We really do find it purposeful and helpful for the future. Okay. So developing a proposal for a group. So if you are wanting to try to maybe get a site to take on a group, for example, at one of my locations, one of my associates wants to do an anger management group for teens. So we need to go through some of this, like what does that look like? How would we implement it? Do we have the curriculum for it? All those kinds of things. It's important because we want to make sure that if we're going to be selling this to people, that it's going to be effective and what we hope the kids to gain from it, all those kinds of things. So again, different kinds of groups, right? There's open groups. So like when we think of AA very generically, or NA, those are the popular open groups. Anyone can show up, right? At any time. Like you don't have to be a committed group member in the sense of you need to be there weekly. I mean, yes, it's encouraged to go to meetings. You can go to meetings anywhere around the world, any time of day. I think there's meetings like 24/7. But for closed groups that are very specific, you need to make sure you have good questions. Is this person a good fit for the group? Will we need to screen them to make sure that they have meet the criteria for what's going to be taught. What if they're not a good candidate for the group? What do we tell them? Like these are things that need to be discussed ahead of time, so you make sure you have people that are a right fit, right age range. Their payments, like can they pay for it, like all the things. You need to make sure you're approaching it with like open-minded and ready for what's ahead. Okay. How big should the group be, right? Like certain topics you probably don't need a ton of people. Now if it's going to be a court mandated group and things of that nature, you need to make sure you have the right curriculum, what's required, make sure you know the requirements, so that if people are having an expectation of I don't know, like getting forms signed that you are properly certified, all those kinds of things. Should this be an open group or a closed group? Like I discussed, there's a big difference between those things. There's a difference in what confidentiality looks like because you're dealing potentially with more people. And so you might want to frame like the content of the group based on like what kind of group it is too. Do we have the space? Do we have the accommodations? We want people to be comfortable. So if you have too many people in too small of a space, it doesn't leave for it to be very comfortable. What's practical for like how many sessions that we think it would need to be effective, right? That matters. And of course, like what should be who should be there, right? We talked about that a little bit. Some advantages of a group. I think group is great. I think clients glean a lot from individual therapy, of course. Like I'm a therapist, I believe in therapy. However, I do feel like group therapy offers a different point of view. I think group members really learn from each other because they feel less alone, knowing that there's people that are going through things similarly to them. I think it's a way to learn and to grow and to gain tools. I think it's a way to even enhance individual therapy. Um, it's another it's another tool in their tool belts. Like you could bring it, somebody can bring it up in group. What is group? It's just another way. Iron sharpens iron. We talks about that in scripture. I think it's just a way for people to really just grow and learn. And so, and to not feel by themselves. I think oftentimes people feel very alone in their problems or situations. And I think having group and having individual therapy, depending on whatever the issues are, is just a great way for a person to grow and to grow exponentially. I really find it valuable. Okay. Um, So a few misconceptions about groups are suited for everyone. No, and depending on the topic, group is not great for everyone. Maybe not everyone's in the right mental space. Maybe people are too severe, and group maybe won't help them. They might need to get more stabilized before they can join a group. Now, groups will sometimes be in inpatient settings, great, but again, they're monitored, all those kinds of things. So if someone is not in an inpatient setting and they're not in a stable place, group may not be good for them for what they may trigger in the group, and or maybe they won't be ready for the information that they're going to hear. Group is similar to therapy. It's not going to tell you what you need to do or how you need to live your life. It's not to become besties with all the people. And it's not for anyone to lose their sense of identity or control, right? Those aren't things that happen in group. So a pre-group meeting, I think that could be beneficial, just kind of an introductory meeting, sets maybe expectations, maybe it lets clients know, like, this is what this is about, this is what you're expected of, this is what you're committing to. Especially if it's a short-term kind of group, it's just kind of an introductory meeting, just making it clear, going over group rules, introducing the leaders, all those kinds of things. So goal of pre-group preparation: describe how group works, encourages members to raise questions about the purpose and goals. We want to hear feedback, concerns, expectations, probably get a feel for one another. It's just a way to kind of get a feel for the group. You might be able to educate them on why group is beneficial. Again, this is not going to be how it's going to be for every kind of group meeting. Especially more of the open groups. You're not going to probably do some of these things because they're running all the time. But this would probably be for like a closed group, maybe a very specific topic. Maybe someone's joining a program for the first time and this is like their way of explaining what's going to happen in the program. You just want to be able to anticipate and answer questions and be prepared for those kinds of things as the leader. Building evaluation and group work. There is always, to be evaluated, it sounds stressful, or it sounds maybe like something that it could be very critical, but the whole point of doing things like that is for clients and for therapists to be able to learn and grow and have some constructive criticism, what worked, what didn't work, so then you could change things for the future, especially if you're into research or this is a research-based group or a research-based program. This might help with data to collect to prove whatever you're doing is effective or not effective or whatever. These are ways to evaluate these things. Again, being able to have an opportunity to see areas of growth, I think, is important. No one's going to do anything perfect. And what works great for one person, it may not work great for another person. Maybe there's one activity where it was like, this didn't really seem like it was useful. I don't know. It's just a way for you to be able to better fix the group and, or, some things you might hear and be like, well, that kind of has to happen, so sorry. It's just a way to get feedback, and we're not going to get feedback unless we ask for feedback. And so that's the benefit of having an evaluation. We've mentioned co-leaders before. I think co-leaders are great, especially if you're getting new to group. It's nice just to have someone that has your back. But again, you got to be on the same page, got to get along to some degree. I'm not saying you have to be best friends, but you need to be on the same page with what you're doing with the work. You want to make sure that you guys are like parents, like you are on the same team so they can't pin you against one another. But it's a great opportunity to have support in a group setting, to have support with difficult group members, to be able to tag team material. I think it's great because usually two people obviously are two different people, two different types of personalities. That helps with dealing with different kinds of group members that could come in, all those kinds of things. So hopefully you're able to do that. Have a co-leader, and hopefully from your experience this week you'll see like the benefit of potentially having a co-leader. I mean, you're doing a group session, I know it's just one, but there's a lot of work that's involved in group and a lot managing with personalities. Sometimes having people role playing is worse than having real clients because people are acting and they're making it difficult on you. And that's some of the learning curve with role playing is like, man, my actors are like worse than clients, like they made it hard. So hopefully that wasn't your experience, but it could have been. So you'll see how it could have been beneficial to have another leader in the group to kind of check someone, or, maybe put someone in their place or whatever. But I'm really looking forward to watching your videos. Now they are like, as they were as time consuming for you to do, they are time consuming to watch. So, because they're like an hour. So I'm going to get through them as quickly as possible. Hopefully in the week, I'll get through all of them. But it's crazy to think like this is week 4. We are halfway done with this class, and then you're done with your first summer session, which is great. So remember, this is the biggest thing. Then we have a few more things to go, but hopefully everything went well. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to email me at my CBU email. I'll be happy to respond to you. All the discussion boards are caught up to this point. So yeah, have a great week, what's left of it.